So much history between these two teams. The 28th meeting, the 6th, the top 10 matchup. I want to speak for Notre Dame Nation real quick, guys, because there's something that around this game, the Catholics versus convicts, and I think I speak for Notre Dame Nation in saying this. Look,
here we go.
Not all of the players at Notre Dame are Catholic, okay? So I'm just going to leave it right there. But I do want to transition this game because it's a big-time match between both these teams. But one of the changes for Notre Dame this year, Coach, that you're focusing in on is Al Golden, who's left to go to be the defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals. They bring in a guy you're familiar with, and Chris Ash, to take over the defense.
Well, the hardest thing the head coach has to deal with, you lose your assistants, and it happens when you win. Al Golden is a stud. He did a great job. Everybody has so much respect for him. Notre Dame was a defensive-driven team. Number 2 in score defense, number 1 pass defense, number 1 in takeaways. They went out and they hired the Buckeye former defense coordinator, Chris Ash. Without Chris Ash, we don't win the 2014 national title. He's one of the best I've ever been around. But there's so much pressure on that cat at Notre Dame. Yeah. Notre Dame Nation expects a great defense. You better give it to him.
Especially when you have a defensive-minded head coach, the bar that Al Golden left there. Big expectations. Matt, I want to talk to you about the quarterbacks in this one. Both teams with new quarterbacks. A little different, though. C.J. Carr in his first start, where Carson Beck, on the other hand, as a transfer quarterback, has got some experience.
Well, I'm really interested to see C.J. Carr play, and I want to hear you talk about him because I know how close you are to the program. You go back to the last couple of years, and Notre Dame got to a national championship game last year with great rushing attack, great defense, and Riley Leonard was great in the run, and he was a great leader for them, but they fell short. They were outside the top 100 in passing offense, very few plays down the field. Now they got this young kid who can absolutely sling it, right? More of a pocket passer, but you combine that with Jeremiah Love and the defense coach you were talking about. This is a team that might peak and be dangerous as the season goes along. And then on the flip side, Carson Beck. Carson Beck has been outstanding. He was 24-3 as a starter at Georgia, back-to-back SEC championship runs. He gets there, leads them there. He's coming off an injury. He was paid a lot of money to go to Miami to try and get them over the hump. We saw Cam Ward, the number 1 pick, couldn't do it last year. There were stretches, though, last year where he threw 12 interceptions in a 5-week stretch. So he can be erratic at times. When he's on, he's a first-round talent. In this game, this weekend, he's got to be on.
Well, my question is Jeremiah Love. How often can you get this guy the football? He's one of the best players in college football for Notre Dame. He'll be a big factor in for Miami, their defense. Struggled last year. 5 new transfer starters, new defensive coordinator, Corey Heatherman. We'll see what he has in store for the Irish. But